Hi, welcome to the Tabs and Icons video series. In this video, we're going to look at the choose function part 2. We have treated the choose function part 1, where we used the choose function and compared it to the VLOOKUP function, XLOOKUP, as well as the index and match. In this video, we're going to look at other aspects of choose function to see how this powerful function can be used in basic data analytics. Let's look at our data. Now, I have this data here. This is the same data we used in the part 1 of the video. Now, what are we expected to do here? We are told that the performance of the 100 sales staff for the quarter ended 31st March 2023 has been sent to you in an Excel sheet. You are required to prepare a dynamic report that displays 1, the top 5 performance for the quarter, 2, the bottom 5 performance for the quarter. Now, these are typically the kind of reports we get in our daily office calls. So first, I want to get the total because that's the only way I can get the top 5 or bottom 5. So I'm going to add their sales for the 3 months. We know how to do simple addition, alt equal to, and I hit my enter key. Then I can auto fill this one straight. Okay, now I have the total. So from here, I can determine who are the top 5 or who are the bottom 5. Now, I want to create a toggle here. Let me make that place a bit of a color so I can know. So if it is 1, I want to get top 5. If it is 2, I want to get bottom 5. So rather than type 1 and 2, I just want to create a little drop down, go to data, come here and select data validation. We know how to do validation already. And then I'm going to take list. Rather than list somewhere, I'm going to place it straight from the source because there are only 2 values, 1, 2, and then I take OK. Now I've created a value there, which shows that I can select 1 here, and I can also select 2. Okay, fine. So if I select 1, it simply means that here should be top 5 performance. And I can use the if statement, the basic if. I can use choose. So since this is about choose, let's use choose. Choose, and I'm going to select an index number, which is 1. Remember, I mentioned earlier in the first video that the choose function can only look up a number, unlike the other function that can look up both numbers and text. So I'm selecting this. This is what I want to look up. And it's asking me what value should it return. If it is 1, it should return a value top 5 performance. Okay. Now, what if it is not 1? What value should it return as a second value? It should return bottom 5 performance. Bottom 5 performance. Okay. So that's all. I hit my enter. Now let me center this. I don't like using so much of the keyboard anyway. So I'm going to take this to 2. If I take this to 2, I'm getting bottom 5, and so I'm cool here. I can increase this a little bit, maybe change the font color. Okay, fine. So now I already know what I'm looking for. If I select this, I'm having top 5. If I select 2. So let's come and do our report here. So I'm going to say serial number and then staff name, and then let's just use sales to represent that. Okay, staff name, this is not correct, so I take out. Okay, all right, let me bold in this and center it. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what do I need to do is to determine the top person. First off, I can use the large to determine the top person here. But then I want to toggle it along with this place. So if this place is 1, then I'm looking for the top 5. If it's 2, I'm looking for the bottom 5. So I'm going to use choose to also link to this place by saying equal to choose index number. I select this. Now I'm going to hold that fixed. We already know why. And I take a comma. It's asking me value. Now what value should it pick if it is 1? It should pick the largest value. So I'm going to say large, which is a function that we have also treated in one of our videos. Large array, which is the whole of this place. I want to have the largest number from the whole of this place. And I take a comma and I'm saying 1, which is large number 1. Now I take my bracket and I take a comma. It will be asking me value 2. What if this place is not 1? What should it return? It should return the smallest. So I'm going to use small. It should return the value that is small from this same array. So I still highlight that. If I want the smallest number, I'm going to say 1 here. and that's all I need. I hit my enter key. So it gives me 263. Now, because I'm on top 5, that means 263 is the highest value in this place. What if I change it to 2? I'm going to get the least value here, which is 117. So I'm fairly okay now. I can move on. Copy this particular one down to 5. So if I go to 2, I'm going to get the least performance. So I'm going to get this. If I go to 1, I'm going to get this. Now I need to extract the names. Now extracting the names from this particular table here, or this particular data range. Now, most of us will just quickly think of VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP cannot help us here. Remember, the VLOOKUP will look up a value and return another value from the right. Now, I'm going to look up a value here, and I want a value to be returned here, which is to the left of my lookup value. That renders VLOOKUP actually helpless. But there are other functions that can be used. If you're using Microsoft 365, XLOOKUP is handy. Now, XLOOKUP has 6 arguments, only 3 are mandatory, and the 3 mandatory ones are enough for us to address this. I've also treated XLOOKUP in depth in another video. So I'm going to say equal to XLOOKUP. What am I going to look up? Value. I'm going to look up this value, and I take my comma. Where am I looking the value up? I'm looking it from here, from the whole of this place. And the third argument say, where am I returning value from? I'm returning value from here. Now, those are the 3 mandatory arguments. The other ones are optional, which are not necessary to address this particular problem. That's all I need. I just hit my enter key, and it's telling me that top person is Obirieze, or yeah, I think that's it. So let me copy it down. I copied this down, and I get this. So if I change this to 2, what happens? Let's see what happens if I change to 2. I get this. These are the least people. Now, some of us may not have. Okay, let me take the heading. I just take this so that at every point I'm already knowing that this is what I want. Now, some of us may not have index and match. Does it mean we can't determine the names since VLOOKUP cannot work? Certainly we can. We are going to use another function, which is the index and match function. So let me put the index and match here. Let me use the index and then match and see if we can arrive at the same thing that we got when we use XLOOKUP. So the index is very simple to get. Index, I'm going to index a range. Where is the range of values I'm going to index? The whole of this range. I'm going to index the whole of this range. And since I want a row number, if I can actually determine this 117 and I calculate the row number and just key it there, I'll still get the same thing. But it's going to be cumbersome because in your real work, you're going to have thousands of columns and rows, so you can't be counting manually. There's a function that allows us to get that particular row number, which is the match. It allows us to get both row number and column number. What am I matching? I'm matching this particular value here, where in the whole of this place, I'm looking for 117, yeah, in the whole of this place. So now it's asking me, do I want the exact match? I said, yes, I want the exact match. I don't want less than or equal to. Now, the moment I said I've gotten the row number, when I take comma, it's going to ask me column number. Now, I can determine column number using match, but it's very simple here that the column I want to return is the first one, which is column B. That'll be my first task. So I just say return what is in column 1. And that's all. And I hit my enter key. So if I copy this down, you will notice that I have the same thing using the XLOOKUP here and using the index and match. If I toggle back to this, you will still notice that are giving me the same values. So all I need to make my work better, I can create a chart for my supervisor to see. So I'm going to highlight this and just plot a simple column chart. There's no need, if you plot your column here, no need going to this. You will just hold your Alt and press F1. Alt F1 will produce a column chart. So this is my column chart, just to make it better. I love to see this a bit bigger. I can do this, make it bigger, and probably change vary the colors, so I can do this. So this is my column chart. Now, usually I don't, when you're doing charts, remove the grid line. So I'm going to take out the grid line from here, and it makes it better. I don't have need for this anymore, so I can take this off. Now, when you do chart, try to maximize space as much as you can. That matters as much as you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to include the data labels. So when I have the data labels, I'm going to select the cutout label so I can have the names there. Now I haven't gotten the names. I don't think I need the names here. I can delete this one. And since I have the values, I don't even think I need this edge here. So I can also remove this edge here. So I think this is better for my chart, just to make some level of separation. I can go to the shape fill and then probably take maybe a color like this. That's okay. And I close this place. I don't need that place. Now, this is my report. So what I need basically now is, since I don't need the whole of this one, you can hide this one where you've done your report. You don't need this. You can hide all this one. I don't know why I need that anymore. I don't need that. So I can now move my report to maybe somewhere here to make it better, make it bigger here. Okay. Now I want to take out the grid lines. Normally grid lines are not very fine. So this is my report. Now for the sales, I can actually, so I want the value to show. So I have there, okay, fine. So each time I toggle, I'm going to have that. So that is my chart, top 5 performers. Now if I come here and then I change this to my chart shows bottom 5 performers, and this is their names and their sales value. If I take this, it takes me straight to top 5 performers with their names and values. So you can actually use the choose function along with this other lookup function to prepare a dynamic report which is expected in this particular exercise. Thank you very much for listening. In other videos, we're going to see much more of what Excel can do. Bye-bye.